2 Hell in a Cell matches and a card that makes no sense. This was WWE's best show of the year so far. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hell in a Cell review. Coming and saying this, I actually fully enjoyed the show. All my paperwork is fricked messed up, so we're hey to that. So how are you all doing today? While I sort out all the paperwork and notes. So that's the... Just going to get this in the order it needs to be in. What's this bit? Hell in a Cell, that's the first section. What's that? Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. That could go there, that goes there. Sorry about this, guys, but how are you all doing? Just to make sure all my paperwork is in a nice, solid order so that we can have a nice, solid review. I'll probably have this in the entirely wrong order anyway, so... That would be easier, just to make sure I do get this in the right order and I'm talking about the right matches in the right order. So I'm just going to quickly get the Hell in a Cell Wikipedia page up and have that just behind there to make sure I'm talking about the right match at the right time. So yeah, Hell in a Cell kicked off the evening with the kickoff show as per usual. And it was the New Day taking on Rusev Day. This is 2017 when Kevin Owens took on Shane McMahon. That's not the one we want, thank you. I love the poster. Don't understand the horns though with the thing. There we go. Alright, so the New Day took on... Oh, okay, I have got my notes in the right order now. Yay, so I can actually use these because I just looked. In a tag team match for the tag team championships, as well as SmackDown tag team championships, the New Day defeated Rusev Day, Aiden English, and Rusev with Lana. It was a good match. 8 minutes 55 seconds. It's got written down here, so that's how long it took. Another good match. Great way to kick off the night for the fans who are in the show. Will say that it was just a basic TV style tag team match between these two. There was a bit of comedy at the beginning where, Rusev, New Day did a little talk about how they're going to win the match, and then they were trying to do that la la, those bits together. So it's quite a good way. Good pre-show match. Good way to kick off the night. I didn't watch the rest of the pre-show. I skipped through it. Just watched the match and then turned it off. The show opens up with our first Hell in a Cell match of the night with a 25-minute match time according to Wikipedia. This is what I want to do for the pay-per-views, get the match times for you. This match was outstanding. For a match that didn't make sense to be... Well, a match which kind of made sense to be in Hell in a Cell but didn't make sense, I would have sooner done AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and the Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman matches in Hell in a Cell, but they did a good match. Now, there were some brutal moments. There was a moment with a screwdriver, he puts it through the air and twists it. Before then, you had tables being brought out and ladders, and there was a point where he had a ladder upside down, so the top was on the floor, and the two metal bits, and Hardy was put through those metal bits. Hardy was put inside the ladder with his head sticking out of one of the rungs, and it was being stomped on into his chest. It was a brutal match. Now, the finish came... Randy Orton won the match. I would have given this Orton stomping, head through thing, blah, 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 blah. Where is it? SmackDown. On Twitch, Becky. So there's a load of moments. Orton's back is bleeding at one point after getting some shots. And there was quite a lot of matches where blood is present throughout the evening. It's quite astounding to see. Swanton bomb onto so basically a chair was across the chest of Hardy, and he swanton bombs on it. If he's injured, what he put himself through tonight was awful. And the finish comes when Randy Orton is put on a table, and Hardy climbs the ladder and then hangs off the roof of the cage and goes across to go and do a whatever spot onto him. And this is why I'm wearing a shirt today, because I've heard that Matt Hardy's retired, and it's the only wrestling show I am with the Hardys on. So, my Impact Wrestling one. And he basically falls off and goes through this thing, and the ref puts up the X and calls his for... Well, he didn't put the X, but he calls for the official EMTs to come out and assist and get, him checked. Orton's like, no, and they're bringing the cell up, but as the cell's rising up to get to Hardy, Orton pins him 1, 2, 3. Orton wins. I'm not rating the matches, but I'm going to do that anyway off camera. For an opening match for what would it make sense to go in Hell in a Cell to start off with, they did a good Hell in a Cell match. A 5-star Hell in a Cell match, in my opinion. And that was brilliant. Next up was the next match I was most looking forward to on the night. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. I've given it 4 stars. Becky Lynch wins. It was a 30-minute 55 match, but I was really confused because the finish came so quick. I didn't even see it coming. It was basically just reversals on finishers and, the normal stuff they do on TV, but they hyped it a lot more. And when Becky Lynch got that win, it was like, oh my God, she's actually done it. She's got the title off Flair. I was expecting going into this that Flair was going to walk out the champion, and I might start doing my predictions for pay-per-views as well. But as I said, Becky Lynch won, and I was quite happy with that. Next up is Marine Free Raw. The Raw Tag Team Title Championship match is next. I'm just going to check that's correct. Yes. So yeah, Charlotte Flair is no longer champion. We've now got a new SmackDown Women's Champion. And next up is the WWE World Tag Team Championships. And in my opinion, this was a very slow style match. It didn't get good till the very end of the match. And this went on for 22 minutes and 50 seconds. So for the first 10 minutes or so, this match was very slow, very Monday Night Raw-esque tag team style match. And then all of a sudden it started picking up and they were getting hot tags and there was all sorts going on. Of course, as I would have thought in my opinions in this, and my pen changes colour at this point, it was like they're doing some moves off the top. There's a move where he suplexed him, landed on his feet, and he was going to do swing outs. But as he was about to do that, it was a Claymore click, and Ziggler just lands on top of Seth Rollins, which must be very hard to do properly. Great finish, a 1, 2, 3. I've given this a 4.5 stars. A great tag team match, slow to start, but once it got going, they really put on a slobber knocker of a fest of a match. Next up was the only other match on the card I was actually looking forward to, and I was quite upset in its position in the night because, as far as I'm concerned, this was match of the night, and that was AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. I didn't put a lot of notes down for this because I was too enthralled with the match. I was just watching it for the full contest, 19 minutes. I'd say it was 20 minutes actually, but we'll go with what Wikipedia says. But they did the story bit again at the beginning leading to the hype package. That was the hype package for this match, and that story segment, what Joe did, doesn't get any boring with this. It was amazing to see. Beautiful match. Nothing on what they did in TNA. They're really changing. They're not going, oh, this is how TNA did it. They're doing their own version of this story, and whenever these two faces, whether it's way back when they faced in TNA or it's in WWE, they always pull out a match that you can say is a 5-star match, and it was a 5-star match. And in my opinion, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe was my match of the night. Am I being biased because these two are TNA and I'm a bigger TNA, and TNA is the company who got me interested in 09? Probably. But in my opinion, AJ Styles and Joe I adore, and I think they are two of the top wrestlers in the world. And, the match they did was brilliant. And I was wondering, right, okay, they got a match at Super Showdown, how are they going to, warrant that match at Super Showdown? So what happened was, he went for the Claymore clutch on the AJ, and then you see him flip over with the camera angle we've got, and it's a 1, 2, 3 pinfall. Because Joe's arms are out. But before the 3 thing happened, AJ tapped to Joe. So we didn't see that. We only saw the 1, 2, 3. We saw it later on. AJ did tap out, and that was thinging me. Then we got Miz and Maurice in the backstage area. I'm not going to go through all the backstage interviews, but hey, they happened. Then there's hype for this. Then it's Miz and Maurice versus Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan. I skipped this match. I'll be honest. I wasn't interested. It was just so slow, it was so sluggish, and I don't even know how. I know that Miz and Maurice won, and I could see when I skipped to the ending to see who won, there was blood on Miz's arm. I didn't watch it. I only gave it 2 stars. I wasn't interested. The next match I didn't watch properly was the 12-minute, 5-minute match for Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss, because I already had seen this match earlier on. I kind of caught glimpses of this match, not on the network, but on YouTube and few other places had been uploading clips of this match. And I'd seen it. It was a 4-star. Ronda Rousey wins. A good women's match. And both of the women's matches tonight, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey with Natalya. And then, of course, you got Alicia Fox, Alexa Bliss, and Mickie James. And it was a submission with the armbar. It was a 4-star match because both of these women matches are 4. Well, I'll give Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair 4.5. They were just that little bit better. But great, I'm getting a Snapchat. Ronda Rousey was beautiful. She is getting better and better every time she steps in that ring, and she's starting to transform from MMA Ronda to WWE Ronda. And I'm not being mean. These are the best women's matches I have seen in the WWE for a long, long time. They are finally starting to actually get some chances, and I'm hoping that we get these sort of matches at Evolution, because if we don't, Evolution is just going to be a flop. And I'm really concerned for Evolution at the moment, but if we get the card what they've hinted at, we're going to get a good show. That's a 4-star rating, and then we just get hype for the Mixed Match Challenge and all that lot of rubbish. Super Showdown, hype, AJ Styles, buddy. So we see MC's Joe's annoyed and showing Paige this, and she's like, yeah, and we need a winner, and Joe's like, yeah, don't worry, there will be one. You know, continuing that story before the show finishes. Then it's up for Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman with special guest referee Mick Foley. Where do I begin? A match which I wasn't looking forward to became a match I enjoyed fully, and is my second match of the night. I have now got 2 matches of the night, and I'm going to give this... I'm going to give this a 5-star rating for the match itself, but I can't give it that. That is not the official rating because the match didn't actually finish how I'd like a match to finish. But there was like DDTs onto chairs, using the cage, Braun Strowman looking bloody thing. All sorts, like the faces and stuff. I swear he was bleeding in his mouth at one point. Another time someone was bleeding. I know AJ was bleeding during the Samoa Joe and AJ Styles match. I know Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy were both bleeding out of orifices because of the wounds. The match is just going on. It's quite an enjoyable match. I'm forgetting to write notes because I'm enjoying myself for once with the Roman Reigns match. And then the Shield and Dolph and McIntyre will appear on the outside, and it's like a massive brawl on the outside, continuation of the tag title match earlier. Then Dolph climbs the cage. Then Rollins climbs the top of the cage. Then McIntyre then goes up. Then Dolph climbs the cage. Then, no, not Dolph. Dean Ambrose climbs the cage with a kendo stick. Then there's this massive brawl on top of the cage between all of them. And then Dolph is trying to get away and go down the cage. And then, he's trying to get good position on himself. Then it's being followed by... I'm trying to think of the person. Seth Rollins. And they're basically fine on the outside of the cage, and they basically both hit each other's heads into the wall of the side of the cage and both fall through the announce tables. We knew that spot was going to happen at some point during the show. I thought Jeff Hardy would be the one doing that spot, but they left it till the end, and it was the actual people who were winning the match. As we're trying to work out what's going on, boom, 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 Brock Lesnar's music hits. Now, everybody's been talking about the red cage. I like the colour of the cage. I don't think it's a problem. I think it's nice to change colours of stuff. But let's talk about the Brock Lesnar thing. He comes in, he basically uses the broken bits of table, smashing it on both Roman Reigns and Thingamy. Both Braun Strowman and that get an F5 from him, and he's just looking really pissed, and he also needs a shave. He's getting a beard, which looks very weird. The ref calls it, declares it a no contest. Now, I know I've read online some people are pissed about him coming back, but let's look at this properly. Right? Every champion in the WWE, right, once they've lost their title, they get a shot at they get a rematch. They get a rematch clause. Now, Brock Lesnar gets told he's never going to have another shot at that championship, even though he should automatically get a rematch clause. Of course he's going to turn up and beat the living crap out of the 2 people in the championship match, because he's pissed and he wants that rematch. Makes sense. WWE have listened to someone. Because tonight's show, apart from the Miz and the Maurice match, which was a bore, was amazing. I have never watched a pay-per-view from WWE for a while where I've had so much fun enjoying watching it and actually joining, chanting and stuff and getting behind the people in the matches. Even Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman was good. The only match, and that was the piss break match, was Miz and Maurice and Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. I don't know if it tells me how they lost, because on here, no, it's just a mixed match tag team challenge. The only problem I have is all the hype packages throughout the night, hyping up Mixed Match Challenge, Total Divas, Connor's Cure. Of course they're going to do that. But there were so many of them. You could have done a lot more interviews. You could have done, instead of doing all that, you could have gone interview with AJ, an interview with Joe, an interview with Roman, an interview with Braun, probably Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss. You could have done that instead of all these hype packages for other shows. Because at the moment, you're building towards Evolution, you're building towards this, and now There's no hint of any other pay-per-views, but it's going to be interesting. I will give someone some credit tonight. And that isn't Mick Foley, that isn't anyone else, it's someone who was on the commentary team, and that is Renee Young. Now, bearing in mind she's married to Dean Ambrose, there was points where, you know, the commentator team hinted at it, but she wasn't biased. She was like, there was a point where she went, well, since the match started, Dolph Ziggler and McIntyre have been on top, and she's like, yeah, I can't fault you there, Corey, that's correct, they have been. I don't like to say it, but they have been. Renee Young on commentary is something the WWE have done right. I don't know if any other company's ever done it before, but, you know, other than Mae Young Classic, this is the first time that someone's held an announcing position on an announcing table on the pre-show before, and it is amazing. The best bit for me of the night is after we come back, I think it's on the main show, the New Day are in the back celebrating the win, and they get this guy and he brings champagne. And we remember Kofi Kingston did that interview guy, I can't remember his name, the week prior, looking at the, what are they called? The bar. There we go. Come to me in a minute. They had him back, and they're like, we can't find Kofi anywhere, and it's him doing that character. These are the sort of things you need to break up a show. These little comedy sections and stuff. This is where I don't have a problem with like places like New Japan and that, because every match is different. But with WWE, they do quite a lot of similar matches. But the thing I liked about this show was both Hell in a Cells are very different from the prior one. Braun Strowman using the steps, Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy using screwdrivers and putting in the hole of ears. AJ and Samoa Joe had a different feel to Dolph Ziggler and McIntyre. Becky and Charlotte had a different match to Ronda and Natalya. And it was that kind of... And do I think the order of the matches were a bit weird? I think I would have put AJ and Joe at just before them. I would have either put them at the beginning of the show and opened up the night with them two, and move Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy into the middle of the show and done 3 Hell in a Cell matches to give Jeff Hardy that bucket list. But with Matt Hardy now declaring he's retired, it's going to be very interesting to see where Hardy and his career go. It's going to be interesting to see if Matt Hardy comes out on Raw and announces his retirement, or if he's just going to retire quietly. I don't know, but it'd be very interesting to see how he retires. And I think he deserves that retirement. What he's done in TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, and all the independent show companies he's been with, WCPW, which are now known as Defiant or whatever they're called now. I can't care less, to be honest. I don't really like him. I never liked him in the beginning. But it's going to be interesting to see where this company's going to go with these stories now, because I'm interested to see the one I'm more interested to see now is the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, how Joe's going to react on SmackDown. But I'm also going to be interested to see how Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman react on Raw, and whether Brock Lesnar's going to be on Raw or not. Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up this evening, you have got the first of a very new series. Every week I'm going to be doing a Raw on a Monday and a SmackDown on a Tuesday and a pay-per-view on a Sunday when it comes around to it. I'm building up to SummerSlam. That's where we are. We're in August. Please be aware that the Undisputed Era do debut, and there's quite a lot of mess-ups on the first episode. But I want to thank you all for watching my Raw review. Match of the night for me is AJ and Joe. Female wrestler of the night, I'm going to give it to Becky Lynch. She did amazingly. Wrestler of the night is going to be Braun Strowman, because he is absolutely amazing tonight. I'm also going to give it to AJ Joe, Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy as well. Everybody gets the rest of the night, including the female wrestler of the night, because everyone did amazing on this show. Moment of the night for me is the fight on top of this cage with and Dean Ambrose, Tony Khan stick up. Overall, I'm going to give this pay-per-view 4.5 stars. One of the best Raw pay-per-views this year, in my opinion. If not, probably WrestleMania and SummerSlam come over the top of that. But good pay-per-view nonetheless. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Raw review, which might be a bit late because I've got a lady coming at 10 o'clock. So it might not be till the afternoon. But I'll get it done for you tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again real soon.